Hi, hello, I am live. Yes, 2 minutes late, not good. It's Mrs. Mummy Penny Talks. I have no idea what episode I'm on. And I hadn't pressed record on Audacity. Let me start again. Welcome to Mrs. Mummy Penny Talks. It is episode, I'm gonna say 27 or 28, around there. It is the 21st of April. We are in week 5 now of lockdown. Yes, week 5, because I've just written my week 4 lockdown diaries. So about 5 minutes ago, I realised, I've got to go and do my podcast. And I'm still in my hoodie. I haven't had a shower. Haven't really done anything apart from have coffee. I've had a little bit of fudge and tried to home educate my children, who are currently downstairs doing sums. I wrote lots and lots of sums for Jack. And Dylan's got so much work. Oh my gosh, I've just literally printed out about 20 sheets for him that all has just come through. So yes, we're multitasking in this household, very much so. I'm sure it's exactly the same for you. Right, let's move a little bit closer. And also what I'm going to try and do is go to Facebook, and I'm going to try and do a watch party again. I tried to do this last week, but it didn't work. So yeah, I don't really know how to do it. No, I don't really know how to do it. I'm going to at least share it onto my personal page. It's very tricky, this trying to get live videos around. I used to be able to do it really well when I worked at the radio station, but now I can't. Share now, public. Yeah, right, maybe I've done it, I don't know. Right, so what I'm going to talk to you about today, sorry I'm blabbering, is I'm going to chat to you about some of my spending diary. So my week of last week, lots of exciting things happened last week. I was on ITV lunchtime news on Tuesday. When I recorded this podcast last week, it was like an hour and a half before I had to go on ITV, and I was very nervous. Had to answer some really complex financial questions, but I did well. Obviously I knew the answers, did my research just to double check that I knew my answers, but yes, that happened last week. I shared some content which has gone absolutely crazy. I'll talk about that, and some of the things that are getting me through times at the moment, because it's up and down, isn't it? Some days are good, some days are bad. And book. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about my book. Hi Caroline. And my efforts at learning stuff. So as you may well know, I've been publishing my spending diary every Monday lunchtime. It normally goes out. So it's I've been doing this post for 2 years now. Every Monday I'll do a Monday money post, and I normally just highlight the sort of things I've done the previous week that have saved money, or like some exciting things I've done with Mrs. MUMMYPENNY. But what I've decided to do since lockdown started was just get a bit more sort of in depth with lockdown, what happens each day. So it's a very detailed spending diary. I'm literally like writing down everything, but also like things I've done, that like emotions, things that have gone really well, things that have not gone really well, and it's really helping to cope with lockdown, actually, because I think writing and reflecting back on things is a really, really powerful experience. So when I I try to keep up with it during the week, but it tends to be, I'll maybe write it on a Friday, catch up for those few days, and then I'll write it on a Monday. But it just makes you reflect back that, oh my gosh, I did so much in this past week, even though, we're isolated at home, and we're only meant to go out for an hour or so a day for our daily exercise. But yeah, I just wanted to chat through a few of the sort of trends that are coming out. So I know we're all spending more on groceries, online shops. What I don't do online shopping, and what I'm hearing from a lot of people actually is people are ending up missing loads of their online order anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm going to Aldi every 2 weeks on a Thursday, because I know that in Stevenage on a Thursday afternoon it's actually quite quiet. So I go at 3 o'clock. If you're listening in Stevenage, I've just given the game away there. A lot of people get their money on a Friday. So Friday's like chocker day in Aldi and Stevenage. So Thursday's a good day to go when it's quiet. I do that every 2 weeks and I do it on the Thursday because the boys arrive here for 5 days on a Thursday, because I share childcare with my ex-husband, so I know I need to have lots of food in when they arrive, and then I do lots of sort of top-up shops, obviously buying loads of treat type food, alcohol. So yeah, grocery bills are absolutely going up, but I managed to keep them under control last week. I had a pretty good week. I can explain that though, because for 5 days I didn't have the boys, they were with their dad. So yeah, I know this week's going to be quite a bad week for groceries, because I'll be going out to get the Aldi shop on Thursday. We went to Tesco's yesterday to go and get some treats. Literally spent, oh my God, I think we spent like £13 on ice cream and ice lollies. I mean, it's nice weather, so... And I did get like 2 Haagen-Dazs for £7, so, you know, it was still a deal. But yeah, so groceries are quite a big spend for people, but then just think on all the things you're not spending money on. So you're not spending money on petrol, eating out, work lunches, your online spend has possibly gone up. Hope you're not spending loads of money on Amazon. I'm really not an Amazon fan. In fact, I ordered 2 footballs for Dylan last week. Cheapest place I could find the footballs. Have those balls been delivered? No. Went and checked the Amazon app yesterday, and they're like, oh, we're delayed, we don't know where they are, and they're going to give me a refund today if they've not turned up. So no footballs for Dylan. So yeah, maybe your online shopping has gone up. I had to spend quite a lot of money last week on home type stuff though, which is really annoying that you have to do that. Like my tap has been dripping for 5 months. Even though the ex was still living here for like 4 of those months, he didn't fix it. Even though he knows like plumbing, he just purposely didn't fix it. Right, I won't go on about that. Anyway, I've ordered the part I need to fix the dripping tap, and I'm going to fix it myself, because, you know, you can search for these things on YouTube, can't you? I got the locks changed, which was meant to happen when he moved out. Couldn't happen because of lockdown, and Errol from Drummond Security couldn't do it then, but he was able to come in last Friday to do it. So that was 120 quid I spent on getting locks changed, but yeah, well worth it. Security is important, something that we spend money on. So yeah, all in all, I spent, I think it was £404. Yeah, household expenses came in quite high, groceries not that high. I had quite a few bills hit. My bill was 98 quid. Oh, that was so painful. But I investigated it. £10 of that was wrong, so I got that refunded. And I think I mentioned last week, I've switched my mobile phone contract over to a SIMO contract. So I've saved myself 32 quid a month there. So from May, my bill's going to be right down. But yeah, 98 quid was a bit of a shocker for April phone bill. So yeah, spending diary is really, really great. Like, have a go at doing one. And what I'm quite excited about doing, because I do get excited about these things, is so I've got a budget. I mean, budget is based on, you know, normal non-lockdown life, but I'm going to compare my spending at the end of April to what my budget was. So it'd be really interesting to see actually how much money I have saved. So my normal sort of budgeted spend is around well, when I worked it out, it was like £2,500 is my normal monthly spend. Bear in mind that my mortgage is £1,200, and, you know, council tax 150, energy is 90 £2. So yeah, it adds up. Got a car loan, that's £165. Yeah, it will be interesting to compare my actual spend to that budgeted amount. I must also say I sent my budgets to my friend Faith of Much More with Less website, and she managed to get my 2,500 budget down to 2,000. So I do need to what's the right word? Adapt to some of the suggestions she made. Not all of them, because she's quite strict, she's quite frugal. I'm not quite that frugal, but I can definitely save a few extra £100. It's incredible when you write a budget and you put it in front of somebody else who lives in a different way to you, that they can actually find some savings that you might not think of. Well worth doing. So yes, I've already touched on the TV appearance on Tuesday, but yeah, my social media went crazy for a day or two. Got loads of new followers, and just got some amazing feedback from people. I was really nervous, but yeah, people have said that I did well, and hopefully I will get more opportunities like that. But quite a lot of work came through last week from clients after seeing that, so that was very positive. Yes, I published a post on Thursday. Was it Thursday or possibly Friday? So I went out for a run on Thursday morning, and I often get amazingly creative ideas when I'm out for a run. And it just sort of struck me at some point of my run. I think I was thinking about some of the children's friends and their parents and stuff, and I was just thinking, God, I bet there's so many people out there who are stuck in isolation with their partners who they don't really want to be with, and they're not even sure whether they want to be with them. So it's like the should I stay or should I go type statement. So I came home and I literally wrote about the sort of story of the past 2 years, and the story of the decisions I went through, my thought processes as to whether I should break up a marriage. It's a really great post. Like, a lot of people have read it. And I've had so many messages from people. Thank you if you've sent me a message. People saying they're in the same situation, or people saying they've got out of that situation. It's just it's a thing that so many people can relate to. Just to give you the sort of lowlights of the story. I didn't know whether to, with a marriage breakup, you're sort of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't end the relationship, you're going to stay in a dead relationship where you're very unhappy. I was very unhappy in the relationship. We weren't communicating, and then the children they start to see that that's what a relationship is, that two people not talking to each other, or when they do talk, arguing, not going near each other. They start to figure out that that's a normal relationship, and that's really dangerous, really quite bad for the children. So I obviously didn't want them to see unhappiness in both parents. But when you actually think about, splitting up a marriage, there's all the logistics of where you live, and school and friends and football and all these different things, and I just got overwhelmed with all the sort of practical side of sort of splitting up the relationship, that I ended up not doing it. So the relationship broke down in the summer of 2019, but I was very close to doing it in the summer of 2018. I'd spoken to a couple of friends about it who were very much like, you have to leave, you have to go, but I didn't. It's the most hardest decision you'll ever make in your life. I did actually make the decision to end it last summer, and I had a moment of clarity where I knew exactly what decision to take. I tend to have that in life with all sort of big decisions, good or bad, I'll get that lightning bulb moment of, my mind is made up. That's the last straw. That thing you've done to me is just the last thing you're going to do to me in this relationship. I had that moment, that light bulb moment in May of last year, and then in the beginning of June, I told him, and we'd had counselling and tried all sorts of things, but none of it was working. So yeah, and then it took 10 months for him to move out. So it's really hard at the moment. So we're 4 weeks after he's moved out. I'm loving the fact that I own my own house, despite having a huge mortgage. I'm just loving the independence of being able to do what I want to do. But it's really tough on the children. I had a really awful day last week on Sunday where I can hear Dylan singing. My ex and I had a big disagreement about something to do with the boys, and it just made me really, really upset. So how do I cope when I get really, really upset? I go on a long walk and I go to the Bluebells in the woods, which are about a mile's walk away, and that helps me get a bit of perspective. Exercise is an absolute lifesaver at the moment. I worked out yesterday that I've done 31 days in a row of 10k steps, or it might be a run, or a couple of days I've just walked around the garden talking to people for like 10,000 steps. That's a lot of circuits of my garden because my garden's not huge. Coping strategies, really, really important at the moment. Structure, really important for coping strategies. I've been doing like daily timetables for the boys, sort of splitting up education into half-hour chunks. So at the moment, I've given Jack his sums, which he's doing till 11:30, unsupervised, and then we're going to go out in the garden and have a PE circuit session, and then we're going to have lunch, and then we're going to go for a walk after lunch. So yeah, structure is your friend. Obviously I've got to try and fit work into all this as well, but what I've sort of realised is I don't have the boys all the time, so I pack in the work on the days they're not here and then keep it quite light on the days they are here. So me sitting up in my office for half an hour to record a podcast isn't the end of the world. I know it's a lot harder for other people who are like my friend Anita is literally on conference calls all day long from like 9 till 5. It's a difficult situation for a lot of people to cope with if you're working from home. But I must mention I wrote a post for Zopa Money, which went live yesterday. It's I popped it in my Instagram, link in bio. It's on my Twitter account, which is like tips for working from home and with kids around. So yeah, lots of great tips in there for managing the day, and also some bit about money, budgeting, saving as well. So yeah, one of the nice bits of work that I got, which was COVID related, from a regular client. Thank you to my wonderful regular clients. I love you so much for continuing with my income in these times when I can't claim any support from the government. I'll say no more. So yes, one of the things that I have been taking quite seriously over the last few days is my book. I have now written nearly 2,000 words. So I'm told it needs to be about 50,000 words. Oh my gosh, 50,000 words. I'm not sure I will make it 50,000 words. But I'm 4%